My name is Heather Servaty-Seib. I'm a professor of counseling psychology at Purdue University, and I'm currently serving as a senior associate vice provost for teaching and learning. It really is interesting that we don't talk as much about how common it is for college students to be grieving. And when I say grieving, I mean, I think about grief in a much broader way than death, but specifically about death losses. The statistics we have, both in the US and some that were starting to emerge internationally, is within any 1 year period, 25 to 30% of college students are grieving the death of someone close to them. If we stretch that out to 2 years, we might get to 45% of students who are walking around our campus and they've experienced the death of someone close within the last couple years of their lives. So often it's friends or grandparents, which should make very good sense to us, but it's also siblings and parents and those who are significant supports. I think that's a main point, significant supports in a student's life. And so they're trying to simultaneously stay cognitively, socially focused on campus while they're also trying to grieve and be in connection with their families and perhaps within their friend groups around a death loss. One of my strongest points of advocacy has been, for the last decade or more, actually, a couple of decades, has been the idea of colleges and universities and institutions of higher education to really have bereavement leave policies for students. It's commonplace in most workplaces, including university and college workplaces, for employees to have bereavement leave and for that leave to be really guaranteed and an assurance for them when they experience a significant death loss to be able to take the time if there is memorialization or services, but also to take that time for themselves to reflect on what they're experiencing, to have a set aside specific amount of time. Now, given I don't believe grief ever ends, so I'm not saying that this bereavement leave covers their grief by any stretch, but for a student to have the assurance that for their instructors, to know and to be aligned and aware of a policy that gives students a certain number of days to be able to make up work without any kind of negative consequences, it's crucial. I think grief groups for college students and for grievers in general, there's nothing like it. To be able to be in a group setting where others can hear what you have to share about your experience, and to hear an experience that you've been having come out of someone else's mouth, that sense of isolation can be so decreased. It can make a huge difference to have a community within which you can share your grief in a very open kind of way and not have to filter and not have to feel like you're bringing others down because you're all there to support each other.